Micky, well done. Was that a victory for resilience, do you think, tonight?
Yeah, I think it was a tough one. Not an easy one, and I think we didn't play really well today, to be honest, but it's an important one.
Is the frustration maybe you couldn't build on that fast start?
What do you mean?
Is the frustration you couldn't build on the fast start, a goal in the first 4 minutes?
Yeah, of course, we had a really good start, and of course you want to build on that, but you know Villarreal is also a really difficult team to play against. Also, every time on the counter-attack they keep the strikers forward, and you know they're really dangerous. So what you say, of course, it's stuff where you can build on the 1-0 you make early in the game, but at the end we got the 3 points, and I think that's the most important.
So with 5 minutes to go, Mikotadze goes through. There's a clash. Are you a little bit concerned?
Yeah, of course, you never know what the referee is going to do at that moment. Because I go for the ball, it's a red card, and yeah, I haven't seen it back properly, to be honest, so I can't really say what I think about it. But yeah, I went full for the ball, so of course you're concerned in this moment because you never know what the ref's going to do. I think yellow is fair.
Another clean sheet. What is working defensively?
I think we know all what to do. It's the whole team, to be honest. Of course, it's defense. We worked also on quite a lot of things, but also with the whole team, I think we work on. We're more like tactical. We're standing better. We defend all together. We attack all together. And even if we have to come into a compact block, you see we're standing there. We know what to do.
Do you feel like you're a harder team to play against for the opposition?
I think we're a difficult team to play against, yeah, for sure. Because what I say, you also see that structure-wise, we're standing really good and we know all what to do. So I think we're a difficult team to beat.
And sum it up tonight for Tottenham, back in the Champions League, your Champions League debut, the manager's Champions League debut. Maybe not the performance, but the result is obviously all that matters.
The result is the most important, and that's the main thing. We got the 3 points, happy with my Champions League debut, and hopefully we can build on for this and on to Saturday.
Thank you, well done.
Thank you.
Yeah, Gabriel alluded to it there, didn't he? I've got Wayne and Dimitar and Michael with me at the dead pitch side. That it's about game management in a way tonight, Michael. It won't be a game they'll look back on fondly in years to come and say it was a classic, but it was a win in the opening game of the Champions League, and sometimes you have to manage those kinds of matches out.
I think it's a big night for Tottenham, I do. I think it's a big step because you can't always play at your best. You can't always play free-flowing attacking football and everything coming off. Sometimes it's a bit sticky and it's a bit awkward and you've got to find a way to win. And they can do and they will play better at times, but I think it's a really good sign and a big night for them to come away with a win.
Agree with that, Dimitar?
Absolutely. I think it was a game probably to forget for Spurs. The only important thing was the win. Even the goal was a bit ugly in my view. But in the end of the day, what counts is starting on the right foot with a win, with the 3 points, and they can build on it.
And Wayne, I'm sure you've had plenty of those nights in Champions League in your history in the competition where, you know, you come away and you've done what you had to do. And for Spurs tonight, it was a big night, wasn't it? A lot of players making their debuts. The manager, of course, his first experience of Champions League football. So to come away with those 3 points, when you get to the end of this league phase, that's the most important thing.
Yeah, I think there will have been some nerves in there as well. As we alluded to before the game, there was a lot of young players out there making the Champions League debut. So I think the 3 points was the most important thing tonight. Can they play better? Of course they can. I think there was a little bit naive at times in terms of leaving himself open quite a bit and conceding attempts at goal. Villarreal, if they were a bit more clinical, could have punished Tottenham. But most important thing was they come away with the 3 points.
Yeah, there'll be chances that they rue that they didn't take. And of course, at the end, there was an incident that could have gone another way for them. Their manager certainly felt it was more than just a free kick.
Yeah, and I can understand that, you know, from both sides, that one. I think from a Tottenham point of view, you can see going away from goal, and you can see that one. I mean, up until this point, I thought it was 5-10 minutes after half-time where they looked a little bit dangerous. Then Tottenham steadied the ship, and that was the one moment really where it could have gone in a different way. But I think in the end, I'm quite happy with that decision. In the end, to be honest,
Is it one of those that could go another way if you're playing
Sure.
at home and an incident like that happens? Is it the away
strikers
team?
are different, you know.
Yeah, I think Spurs were lucky here with this one because English teams tend to forget sometimes that in the English Premier League, sometimes are not given that easily. Well, when you play international football or Champions League football, European football, then you need to be careful because a foul can be a foul. So they were lucky here to escape with nothing.
You disagree, Wayne?
No, I think it's a yellow card. I think the ball's going away. The goalkeeper's in a good position. I think if the referee gives a red, I'm not sure they might overturn it, but I think the right decision was made.
They did ride their luck at times, and I guess in a way you could say good fortune for the goal as well, although the attacking play led to the goalkeeper kind of being in two minds, but it's an own goal, obviously, and it's a bit of a howler from the goalie.
Yeah, I mean, Tottenham's point of view, fantastic start. Well-worked move, really, in terms of the forward run from Bergvall. We spoke about Son Bergvall at half-time about making lots of forward runs and it caused problems earlier on, which was exactly that as a midfielder, following that runs hard, and you can see that it left the space. Listen, we don't really need to explain what happened at the end, but it was a fantastic start, and they can be really pleased with that, because that's not always easy when you go up a goal early to manage it in a young, maybe inexperienced team in such a big game. But they've seen the rest of the game out. That goal was enough for them tonight, and the start that they got themselves into the game, and they're seeing it through.
And I think you said, Wayne, didn't you, and Dimitar, I'm sure you said it as well pre-match, that one of the things they had to fix this season if they're going to be more competitive on both fronts, both the Premier League and, you know, because last year the Premier League didn't go so well while they got a European trophy, the defence was going to have to be better and be less easy to breach. And that has been a pleasing thing about the development so far of this side under Thomas Frank.
Especially this game, when you keep the clean sheet in the back, is always good for the goalkeeper and for the defence. But as I said in the beginning, the 4 people in the back, I think when I saw them in the warm-up, after they did the warm-up, always hugging, you know, complimenting each other. There is a unit there. There is a good camaraderie there between the players, and they show it on the pitch as well. Here and there during the game, I was seeing a bit of the old Spurs when they lack a bit of concentration. The example with the penalty incident, where they need to always be on their toes, because intelligent team can take advantage of it and score against you. But overall, so far, I think the whole unit is, in the defence is really great.
I'm delighted to say that Lucas Bergvall is actually walking towards us. He's going to come and join us at the desk. You were waxing lyrical about him pre-match. He had a fantastic performance at West Ham at the weekend, scored and assisted, and his manager said that performance meant he couldn't leave him out tonight. And you highlighted at half-time some of the great runs that he made. So he's going to come in. Perhaps we'll put him in between me and you, Wayne, shall we? So he can hear, because he hasn't got an earpiece in. Lucas, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, they appreciated your performance tonight. 3 points, off to a great start in the Champions League. Tell us a little bit about how it was out there tonight.
It was really tough. I think Villarreal did a great performance, but a 1-0 win is amazing feeling, at home.
And of course, we were just talking there about the positives that came from the performance, also areas that I'm sure that you will talk about, you've got to work on through a Champions League season. Not every game is going to be, you know, a goal fest, is it? You know, and tonight, obviously, the goal had to come from an own goal.
Yeah, as I said, it was a really tough game. But yeah, we managed to get 3 points today, and we talk a lot about clean sheet mentality, and I think they didn't have a shot on target today. So yeah, we did a really good job.
And tell us a little bit about what the manager has given you license to do this season, because of course, you know, you played your way into the hearts of the fans last season. You missed the back end of the season. You get a new manager. What has he given you the kind of freedom to express yourself on the pitch?
Yeah, new fresh air. As I said, we talked a lot about clean sheet mentality this year, because we conceded a lot last year.
But you personally, your relationship with him?
No, I think it's really good. I just want to come back to the form I had in the beginning of the year, and I feel like I'm getting back. Help from him, a lot of video analysis to get better every day.
Yeah, I think what I liked about your performance tonight was the amount of forward runs you were making. I think maybe a little bit more than what you was doing last season. Is that something you've worked on throughout, obviously, since Thomas Frank has come in?
Yeah, definitely, especially when Mo gets the ball to run in behind, and especially the goal I scored last game against West Ham, the run behind when the centre half can ping it. So yeah, we've talked a lot about that, because there's space there, and we can score goals.
Is there a Scandi connection between the two of you?
Yeah.
Yeah, how does that work?
No, it's really good between me and
the manager.
Yeah, it's top. Nothing bad to say about him. Only good things. Yeah.
Yeah, and obviously that relationship you can see with you and Sarr as well. We were discussing at half-time how those runs were quite obvious, weren't they? That they were really giving Spurs some great attacking options.
Yeah, and I thought you were fantastic, so well played.
Thank you so
Just
much.
an interesting one. You know, when you're playing that high position, a little bit behind their midfield, and you're playing almost in that right pot where you made your run for the goal. Do you find it that you almost sometimes want to go a bit deeper to get a touch of the ball, or are you happy staying high so then you can run forward?
Of course, I always want the ball, but yeah, when I play as a 10, as I do now, we need those round forwards, and I think I managed to do that well. This and last game, because last year I played a lot of 6, 8, but this year I played more of a 10 position. Yeah.
It's not easy sometimes as a younger player, especially, and you want to affect the game and you want to get involved in it. But I thought you showed real good maturity and understanding of the position to make your runs at the right time, even though sometimes you might want the ball a little bit more.
Yeah.
But I thought you showed really good kind of patience and composure playing in that role today. Well
Thank you
done.
so much.
You had to miss the back end of Spurs' European journey last season with your injury. So to start in the Champions League this season, tell us what it feels like to run out here on this night and hear that music.
It's been a dream since I was a young kid, watching these players play in the Champions League. So yeah, unbelievable feeling, and at home, and 3 points as well. Amazing.
Both your brothers play football, don't they? Your older one and your younger one.
Yeah, it's true.
Watching tonight?
Yeah, hopefully, I hope so.
Well, I'm sure they'll be very proud of you, and the fans as well seem to love you. I think you were the fans' player of the season, weren't you? So
Thank you.
they're very happy to see you come out here tonight. Congratulations on the
you so
win
much.
and the performance, and thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Lucas. Just 19 years old, Lucas Bergvall there, who, as I say, he missed that against Bodo Glimt and then the final as well. So he'll feel he's got some kind of unfinished business to do for Spurs and get himself into this European campaign. And if he keeps playing like that, Wayne, he'll be a regular fixture in this side throughout.
Yeah, he will, and
season.
I think Michael, was spot on with sometimes you forget how young he is because he played a lot of games last season, and the maturity which he does play with is fantastic, and so he showed a different side of his game this season. I think last season he was a little bit deeper, and to play as a number 10, it's not easy. It's not easy to get on the ball and be in the right positions. But I thought today he showed the different side of his game, which, since the start of the season, he showed that different side of his game, which I think will only improve him in the future.
Okay, hold your thoughts there. I'm going to come back to you all at the desk. Congratulations on the win. Your first as a manager. That's a very special moment.
It is, and of course I'm very happy with that. I definitely learned you need to be happy with your wins and appreciate them. And I think also there was still many good things. I think we defended exceptionally well. We gave very, very little away throughout the game against, in my opinion, a very good Villarreal side. I think offensively we didn't hit the highest level. There was definitely a spell second half where we decided, let's give it to the Villarreal guys, and then we just sprint back. I think that's a very good fun thing. But on the flip side, I think Villarreal is a good team and they defended very well as well. So it was a very, very even game that we just edged.
You mentioned that second half spell, and that's where you made some substitutions. Polina came on, and you had to kind of really get hold of the game then.
Yeah, and Xiao is a very good player, and he also, I think, stabilized it more in the middle of the pitch, so that helped definitely. Yeah.
There were incidents that could have gone one way or the other as well tonight. There was obviously the free kick that was checked for a penalty. Micky van der Ven was asked about that. What was your view of that?
Real time, I was thinking, ooh, that was close to potentially could be a penalty, but I guess and these guys got it right. It was contact outside the box.
They had their chances, obviously, as well.
Yeah, I think they had one to Pepe, like a half transition. This is the yellow card on the free kick, a dangerous situation. And then they had the situation for Pepe as well. Pepe. Sorry, we had a good chance. But that was not. I think this is a yellow card and it's not a penalty.
What did you learn about your team tonight?
I learned that they are working very hard and that we have a very good foundation to stand on in terms of our defensive organization. I think it's good, and we give this is Champions League against a good team. Also, I knew it. I think it was a step forward against West Ham. Offensively, that is definitely the area where we need to how can you say, of course get better, but it's also a little bit the relationship. So Jet Spence and Simmons is the second game together. So too many times they play too short and too into feet instead of, find a better relationship. So there's something in that, definitely.
Thomas, congratulations first on the win. Do you think in the second half that spell where was a lot of sloppy passes around is down to tiredness because of the lot of games that is happening? Sometimes obviously irritating of the team, but some players are playing all the time. Do you think that can affect in the long run?
Yeah, it could, definitely. I think, for example, Rodri and Richie, those two players that gave the ball away a couple of times, both give everything for the team. They actually didn't start Saturday, so they should be fresh. So sometimes I think there can be a tiredness element. But maybe on the day we just didn't hit a high level. That happens. You guys were 3 world-class players. Maybe there was one bad mistake, not many, of course. But you're right. Sometimes they didn't hit the level today.
I think the important thing is obviously you can't always be at your best, but the important thing is, and this I think brings your team close together, is when you don't play at your best, you come away with the 3 points, and especially the first game in the Champions League. I think it's massive, and the confidence that the players will gain from that will be huge, I think.
Yeah, I agree, and I'm very, of course, extremely happy. Of course, we, coach got into the coaching room straight away, and we could have done a little bit better, and we said, let's be happy today, okay? Because it's so difficult to win these games, and then we analyze tomorrow, and then we hopefully learn from it and get better. But to have that foundation with now 4 clean sheets in whatever 5 games is very good.
Yeah. And just for me, we spoke a little bit at half-time about the makeup of the midfield with Sarr and Bergvall playing high and Bentancur being that kind of lower part of the triangle, and the amount of forward runs that the two ahead of him were doing, which in a positive way, and it's aggressive, but then it does managing the transition, which we were waiting for, then becomes the challenge. Was that something you really encouraged the two of them, Sarr and Bergvall, to really kind of play over their press or around their press, and so their midfield had to be behind? Was that we spoke quite a bit about
definitely in that we wanted that 4-1, let's say 5 structure, because we knew that they are very good in their 4-4-2 defensive organization, so good to shuffle across. Their fullback are jumping to the winger, cutting the run as well. So sometimes just to open the game up, a few runs behind them. Of course, it was an own goal and probably a mistake from their keeper, but it was a good run down the side from Lucas. There was a few from Pape as well, and that just brings us a little bit up the pitch. If the first phase didn't go quick enough.
Thomas, just before we let you go, have a quick look at your Champions League fixtures. Bodo Glimt next for you in the Champions League. Of course, Spurs played them last season on their way to the Europa League Cup final. It's always said that the home games are so important in the Champions League. When you look at your run of fixtures, is a top 8 finish the target?
I will be very happy for the first win. Now we need, of course, to try to beat Brighton on Saturday, and then we go to Bodo that has done fantastic over the years, and up there and on the artificial pitch is going to be another tough task. So I'd like to win one game at a time.
One match at a time.
Exactly.
Is that and as PSG showed last
boring,
season,
sorry.
you don't need to finish in the top 8 to win the Champions League. It just takes away 2 matches for you, doesn't it? That's the bonus. That's the bonus.
Not the tiredness. That's probably good to avoid those two. That would be nice.
Thank you so much for giving us your time
Thank you.
tonight. Congratulations. Really good to see you.
Thank
Thank you.
Good luck.
Thomas Frank rightly just straight batting that one. It's one game at a time. It's off to a great start tonight, and you win your home games, you stand yourself a really good chance, don't you, of getting in that top 8?
Yeah, you do, and I think anyone coming to the stadium, any Tottenham fan would have taken the 3 points. And listen, we all want to come here and see really exciting and entertaining football, but the most important thing was Tottenham keep that momentum they've got to the start of the season and get off to a good start in the Champions League. So I'm sure Thomas will go in and the players will be in there delighted with the result.
Yeah, well, it certainly seemed that way, didn't it, when we talked to Lucas Bergvall?
Yeah, I think this. Honestly, I think it's a big step, and sometimes you be careful what you kind of wish for and hope for, because at this stage it's like Wayne's just said, momentum, especially early. I think we can forget how he's been in a short period of time, and it was a big night for the whole club, this one, and sometimes that can take over. And but that momentum, that clean sheet, that no shots on target faced, I think you'll be delighted in there, and it's a real foundation and a base from, and the attacking play can come, and they've had spells over this so far in a short period of time this season when they've looked dangerous. That'll come. But it's a great thing to build on tonight. Let's
have a look at some of those chances at Villarreal. He talked a little bit about it there, Dimitar, didn't he?
Yeah, indeed, and that's why I say sometimes Spurs needs to be careful that lack of concentration at specific areas of the pitch based on the confidence they have can, sometimes be dangerous for them. Because when you play against really big team, really clever team, they can punish you. And there's a couple of chances here where you can see Villarreal going, taking the ball, and getting advantage of the mistake the Spurs is making. But and especially here, they were lucky not to get the goal. That was a good attack.
I think some of these chances, and what we said before, well, I said before the game about the lack of experience in the team. I think there was times where Tottenham were trying to go forward too quick and then losing the ball, and then they had too many players ahead of the ball, and Villarreal had some really good chances from that. So I think this is something they'll learn from. I'm sure Thomas will go through all these clips with the players and moving forward, something which they will get better at.
And what Thomas Frank is doing, from obviously the manager who previously in last season obviously was trying to. Well, sorry, start that again. Spurs last season had a manager who was trying to play a very attacking style of football and perhaps was occasionally exposed at the back, or quite often exposed at the back. You can't just change that overnight, can you?
No, you can't. And I just think it showed tonight. I think when the game was set, Tottenham looked quite solid, and it was more the transition phases when they were losing the ball. And like we spoke about, they were putting 5 on that top line, 2 midfielders high, and leaving the middle of the pitch quite open. When it did break down, that's when they were vulnerable. And transition in the game now is huge. And it's a tough one because you want to go and you want to score and you want to be creative and you want to be aggressive. Managing behind the ball is what their game plan was tonight, Villarreal, to hit them. So that's just getting that balance, and they got it probably a bit more secure with it when they brought the substitutes, Sean and Paulini, especially in the midfield, and looked a bit more solid. But yeah, they'll be delighted with that. Absolutely delighted.
Let's get some reaction, shall we, from Villarreal and Ayoze Pérez, who is talking to Gabriel Clark.
Ayoze, defeat for Villarreal. Did you deserve better tonight?
Well, I think it was an intense game, very equal. Unlucky with that goal very early in the game, but I think we played a very good game, knowing that this stadium is not easy to come and play against. But I think we did well enough to maybe get a point. I think we lack a little bit at the very end to be more precise, to be able to create more chances. But also at the same time, we didn't concede much, not many chances. So I think the game was quite equal, and at the end, that goal at the very beginning was key.
There is a lot of talk online. I think we were all talking about it as well. I'm going to have a little look at whether or not Xavi Simons was a lucky player tonight to stay on the pitch.
Yeah, I think he was a little bit fortunate. I think the first yellow card, it's a yellow card. It's just a little bit mistimed. So yeah, I think that's a yellow card. I think the second one, yeah, he's quite fortunate, and he's probably got away with one. So, but listen, that happens in football. He's tried to stop a counter-attack, and he's probably just about got away with one. So he was quite quiet in the game. Didn't have many opportunities, but sometimes we've all been there. You ride that luck and move on.
Yeah, you can see there, Marcelino, it's absolutely fuming. Dimitar, you understand why?
I do, because when you take that penalty incident, or whatever you want to call it, and this one as well, if you're the Villarreal manager, you're going to be fuming as well. But the game sometimes can take you places based on your emotion. You want to defend, you want to show how good you are, or you're angry. But Spurs needs to be careful with the specific situation in the game, because otherwise, when you play a really good team, or maybe the referee is different, then you're going to suffer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a good thing. I remember right early on in the game, Simons was celebrating winning a tackle and winning a throw-in, and I think that side of the game is probably what we've always spoken about of maybe Tottenham missing. It kind of flipped a little bit tonight, and he's eager to try and help the team there, and he's enthusiastic and energetic. He wants to get back and make a tackle. So from my point of view, I see that as a real positive. He probably got a little bit lucky with Saar was just covering him, and he was just in the vicinity where he probably would have got to the ball. So he just got away with it. But in terms of his attitude and willingness to work for the team, the rest of it, like Berber enjoys, the silky football, that'll come from him, because that's what he does best.
But not only that, he's sometimes we forget, or I forget, that some young players, they're still learning, right? Still learning the game, when to keep your emotion, when to let loose your emotion. So I agree with you. He will learn all this aspect of the game, when to stop, when to go and tackle, but he was really eager to show how good he is.
Okay, let's get some more Spurs reaction. Rodrigo Bentancur is with Alex Aljo.
Rodrigo, enhorabuena, congratulations. Una victoria en el primer partido de Champions, a win in your first Champions League game of the season. ¿Cómo de contento con la actuación del equipo? How satisfied can you be with the results and the performance?
Muy contento, creo que hemos hecho un partido muy bueno a nivel colectivo y lo más importante fue tener los 3 puntos en casa con nuestra gente.
Very happy. I think we played well today. The most important thing was the 3 points at home in front of our home fans. Y bueno, el gol. Hablamos del gol. Let's talk about the goal. Un regalo, a bit of a gift, pero da igual. You'll take it, won't you?
Sí, claro. La verdad que no importa cómo sea el gol, mientras sea gol, la verdad que estamos muy felices y bueno, sea quien lo haga, la verdad que estamos contentos con la victoria.
Yes, of course. We're so happy with that goal. It doesn't matter how it was scored. The most important thing was that it was a goal and it meant we won the game today. Y fue el primer partido en Champions del nuevo entrenador. It was Thomas Frank's first game in the Champions League. ¿Cómo vas con él? How are things going with him? ¿Y has notado un cambio de mentalidad? Has there been a change in mentality?
Sí, claro, fue el primer partido tanto como para Thomas como para varios jugadores hoy en el equipo. La verdad que estaban muy felices. Y sí, hemos cambiado. Creo que los últimos 2 años también, el año pasado que hemos ganado la Europa, ha habido un gran cambio de mentalidad. Pero bueno, Thomas ha implementado ese cambio también y bueno, queremos seguir porque queremos ganar otro trofeo este año.
Yes, it was Thomas's first game in the Champions League and a lot of other players as well. And yes, there's definitely been a change in mentality, but we saw it last season as well. We won the Europa League and we just need to keep going and hopefully we can go far in the competition this season. Bueno, enhorabuena, congratulations. Gracias. Thank you.
Muchas gracias.
Thank you. Perfect.
Match day 1, and we've got the linguistic skills of Alex Aljo on display already. He is part of what could be a really dynamic, impressive midfield. You pointed to learnings that need to come, but obviously he's one of the more established players.
Yeah, he is. I think they've got a good mix. You know, I think they went to be a bit more possession and a bit more positive tonight, and then Paulinho comes on when they need it, a bit solidarity, and there'll be plenty of games when he'll start the game, and I think that it's great. I said it to Thomas before the game on the pitch, to have a choice to be able to decide in what game suits what players. I think it shows the strength and depth we've got. Yeah, I think it's a strong unit, that midfield.
Okay, here on Prime we have exclusive
Champions League nights are back in North London, and Tottenham have their first win of the campaign, and Thomas Frank's first ever in the competition, though it came in the most bizarre fashion. Inside just 4 minutes, Lucas Bergvall burst down the right and fizzed in a cross looking for Richarlison. It should have been a routine take for Villarreal keeper Luis Jr., but disaster struck. The ball slipped through his hands and trickled into the net for a nightmare own goal. That proved to be the difference. Spurs pressed hard in the first half. Richarlison and Maddison both went close, but they couldn't add to their lead. Villarreal grew into the game after the break, testing Guglielmo Vicario on a couple of occasions, but Tottenham's defence stood firm. In the end, that early calamity was enough to separate the sides. Tottenham 1, Villarreal 0, a scrappy but vital victory for Thomas Frank's men, giving them their first points in group. It may not have been glamorous, but in the Champions League, every win matters.